Well, good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of Friday Morning Live. We certainly have a special guest this morning, our friend Dave Burt. We'll introduce Dave here in a sec, but want to go through some housekeeping items. And certainly on your screen, you should see the new Friday Morning Live logo and graphics. So hopefully everything's good there, and you see all that. So we're excited. Thanks to the communications team here at FAIA for producing these screenshots, and so we really appreciate that. So shout out to Agatha and her team. So without further ado, let's advance some slides here. That's yours truly, Dave Newell. Welcome again to another season of Friday Morning Live, and then our special guest today that we've decided now every spring to kick off Friday Morning Live. Our friend Dave Burt from FMS and IMS will be our special guest. So welcome, Dave.
Thanks, Dave. Excited to be here. Got up this morning, felt like I was getting ready for my first high school football game again. Put on the face paint, ready to go. I look at the picture I'm looking at the screen, looks like I'm 97 years old, but I still feel like I'm 30.
So, but Dave, I will tell you, yes, the picture doesn't do you any justice. He's a lot better looking in person, a lot better looking in person. So, but yeah, folks, just some housekeeping, just a reminder, and we talk about this internally all the time, but just want to make sure the word is completely out that a few years ago, the board of directors here at the association made a decision to provide education in some form or fashion as a member benefit. And so each month, we provide 4 classes on our schedule that 10 hours of CE that you can take. Everybody that's a agency personnel. It's not for associate members, but for agency personnel, principals, and certainly the team members. You get these 4 classes. So just take a look at them. It's on our website, and we'll just keep promoting those and making sure that members take advantage of those opportunities. And then beyond that, Dave Burt, we certainly have other web-based learning opportunities for those folks. So a lot of classes that are offered each month that's outside the member benefit, but and those get changed pretty routinely. So certainly come back and check those out on a I'd say a bi-weekly basis. So. And then next up, speaking of member benefit opportunities, Dave, we're offering another e-summit. Registrations are open. They were certainly announced and then were highlighted in yesterday's AC. But March 10th through the 12th, certainly get online and look at that schedule. It's 2 days of education, and then a third day, it's what we call a bonus day. So if you couldn't participate those first 2 days, day 3 is a continuation of classes throughout that day. So take a look at that. And that is a member benefit for all FAI members, agency members, and associate members. So if you're licensed and you need CE, this is a great opportunity. And by the way, this is certainly something our E&O department loves to hear each year. We offer the E&O loss control classes during the E-Summit. So certainly get online, take a look at that, and register. You will not be disappointed. We have some new speakers and some new topics beyond the E&O classes. So, and then next up, just a reminder, folks, you hadn't registered for convention, suggest you do. But prior to registering for convention, Dave Burt, probably need to get your hotel room, right? Right,
Indeed,
Dave?
Indeed. Get the hotel room. I had someone ask me yesterday about a hotel room, and Wednesday night is full. Thursday and Friday, I believe, full too. There's a waiting list.
Yeah.
So Cindy's trying to open up some spots, but don't mess around. You can't wait much longer.
Dave, if you hold that a little closer to you, Greg is saying hard to hear you. So let's get that going. But yeah, reminder, folks, get online, registration, get your hotel rooms, and certainly take advantage of this great. And by the way, we're excited around here, Dave. Never sold out the exhibit hall this early, but the exhibit hall is sold out. We have and a waiting list there as well. So
That's true.
a lot of good things going on for agents right now in the association, and certainly the members we serve. Next up, sales and leadership. This is certainly hosted by the Young Agent Council. It is in Fort Lauderdale this year. It's April 9th and 10th, and they got a heck of a lineup of folks that they have brought together to help young agents and some of the things that they're working on there. So get online. Sales and leadership is under our events tab on the homepage, and register for that. But again, April 9th and 10th in Fort Lauderdale. So looking forward to that. And now, without further ado, we're going to bring in our friend, Dave Burt, who has been with the association almost 20 years.
17 to be exact.
17 to be back. Well, you know, we kind of, when you get past 15, you kind of round up, right, Dave?
That doesn't make any difference.
Okay.
Kind of like birthdays at our age. Doesn't make any difference.
But yeah, we're excited to have Dave on. Certainly, he's been at the helm of FMS for a while. There's a lot of things going on. We want to kind of engage on some of those topics and certainly answer any questions that you all may have about FMS, what the products are, what we're thinking about. If you have suggestions, you have some things that you think the FMS board needs to take a look at, now's the time to kind of let us know, or you can send a note directly to Dave, and certainly they'll take it from there. But you know, FMS was started many, many years ago, Dave. It's the for-profit side of the association. It's what, as they say, drives the bus from a financial position here at the association. But a lot of what you do for our members is to help them cultivate and support them as an agency owner, right, Dave?
That's right, Dave. You know, FMS is a wholly owned subsidiary of FAIA. And, you know, we work very hard to add intrinsic value to FAI member agencies. And what that really means, you know, I've been around here, you know, like you said, 17 years, and a lot of folks don't know what FAI member services is. You know, we've had a lot of board members that have worked their way, you know, through the FAI board and now have decided they want to serve on the FMS board and learn a little bit more about FMS. And so we wanted to bring a little more attention today to the for-profit side and let everybody kind of know how things work on our end and what our role and mission is. And it's really to offer quality, cost-effective insurance products and services to our members. And we provide access to insurance markets. We vet these partners both on the FMS side and the IMS side. I know we're going to get into IMS a little bit here in a minute, but we look for partners that can bring value to our member agents, value that they may not be able to get independently, but when part of the FAI membership family, there's some advantages to being a member. And these partners that we have worked with, as you mentioned earlier, in the convention piece, those partners are stationed around the center of the auditorium, or the exhibit hall, and we point our members to a lot of those folks that we have vetted and spent the time with and know that they bring a good product service offering to those member agents.
Yeah, and you know, Dave, the next point is, and we mentioned it now, but we want to showcase them. There is an FMS board that is separate from the FAI board. And like you say, vets many of these opportunities and comes together pretty routinely to talk about those things. And you see on your screen who makes up that board. And certainly there is some overlap between the FAI board and FMS board. That's just how it's designed. But what's the board's activity from your perspective when you look at these opportunities?
Well, I mean, our board this year, led by Janice Hanks, is really responsible for taking a look at the products and services that we bring on board. So the typical protocol is when I'm approached, and I am approached regularly by vendors who want to partner with FAI and FMS. And so the typical protocol is to have those conversations, and then where it makes sense, bring those potential partners in front of this board that you see here. And they have the opportunity to then present to that board, and that board makes a decision whether we move forward or not. And in many cases, I have done my homework up front to get them in front of these folks. But ultimately, the decision's there. So we've got a great board. I've been here again 17 years and have had the pleasure of working with so many incredible FAI member agents on this board. But we've got some good continuity on the board this year. We've got a very strong board, and we've got some programs that we're looking at that they're making decisions on right now. So if you want to get involved with FMS and look at maybe an opportunity, being on my board, reach out to me. We rotate that board. Typically, it's a 3-year service, and we'll have some openings coming up this next year. Let me know if you have an interest, and we'll get you involved.
Dave, you talked about looking at opportunities. What is there kind of a goal that you guys set each year of how many you would like to adopt from a strategy standpoint?
That's a great question. In my time here, we have gone from probably 12 FMS preferred providers to about 20, maybe a few more. We are very particular about what we do and how we do it. And so I like to bring on at least one program a year. Last year, we brought on 3 programs. So it just kind of depends on what the offering is and what we need at that time. But the goal, Dave, to your question is we look to attempt to bring on one a year where it makes sense.
And you'll see the screen there. A lot of them is property markets for sure. That's the lifeblood of FMS. But there's also a lot of other partners that have been developed to help independent agencies from a strategic standpoint, from a tech standpoint, from just an ease of business standpoint. So you're looking at those. I know right now a couple of those opportunities. And when those get decided, we'll certainly put them up and announce them to the members.
Yeah, what you see on the screen here is the independent market solutions side. So this is a little bit different than our FAI preferred providers outside of the property market. So as you mentioned, Dave, we've got, and I don't want to single anybody out. I want to be very fair, but if you go to the FAI site and you pull up who we have on the FMS side in terms of a preferred provider, we've got you covered, whether it's payroll, premium finance, or office supplies. We've got you covered up and down the board. So I would ask that you go take a look and see what we've got. Last year, as I say, we brought on 3 new partners, and we're excited about growing those partnerships as we move forward into 2026.
So Dave, again, property being the overwhelming list on here, but so what would an independent agent do that's a member of the association have to do to maybe get appointed as a sub-producer under one of these programs? How does that work for those not familiar that are on the call today?
Question. Let's start with FMS.
Okay.
So our FMS preferred providers, like I just mentioned, the process there is to go to the FAI site, look at our preferred providers. You're looking again at the IMS markets, but below this on our site are our FMS preferred partners. And typically what you'll do there is go on, you'll have a box to click, basically that'll take you to an application or a contact person. So that process is a little different than what we would do on the IMS site. The IMS site, let me give you just a little bit of history on the Independent Market Solutions. Independent Market Solutions was a program that was birthed here at FAI by our former CEO, Jeff Grady. And it was a program that we had when I came aboard, we had about 12 to 15 million in premium with about 5 different carriers. And after about 9 years of my being here, Jeff made the decision that he wanted to kind of stretch this out and look at maybe going across the country with this program with some of our other state partners. We brought on North Carolina and Louisiana as the initial partners. After about 3 years, we then moved to 16 partners across the United States, from California to New York. Now, currently, we have 17 partners, state partners, and the program has grown to over 120 million in premium. So now, the way you get moving on the IMS side, how do you get appointment? How do you get a sub-producer agreement with us? You'll go to the FMS or the FMS FAI site again. You'll click on that independent market solutions. I think on the slide previous to this one, Dave, where it showed all of our IMS partners. There you go. If you click on that IMS market solutions, independent market solutions link, it'll take you to the site that allows you to complete a 5-tab application. It's a universal application that will allow you to select those carrier partners that you're looking to get an appointment with. What we tell folks, though, this is very important. Don't go in there and click every box and sign up for every partner that we have, because you can't feed all those mouths, right? So we want folks to be very selective. And my friend Christy Stacy, who's taken over the marketing position with IMS, is quick to let folks know, hey, you've signed up for too much here. We need to throttle this back a little bit. Let's look at something that makes sense for you. Okay,
Right,
so
right.
that's very important that they're careful about their selections. We have personal, we have commercial, we have everything. We have flood, we have BOPs. So you can you can diversify to some extent. You just don't want to get heavy on one side.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. I mean, and every independent agency that deals in the marketplace kind of knows that. You just don't want to sign up for everything, and then all of a sudden that appointment kind of falls by the wayside, and the marketing folks are coming in and say, we really hadn't seen any flow of business. Maybe you're not a fit for us, and we
Right.
don't want that through this program either.
Right. The worst thing you can do is get an appointment through IMS and not be able to feed that mouth, and then get that termination notice from that carrier, because as everybody knows, those things are coveted today. Those appointments are coveted, and you don't want to lose one. So you are somewhat insulated in the IMS program. And what I mean by that is, because of the fact that we have 1,200 agents in this program in the entire IMS footprint, you have some insulation. So where you might have, as a direct appointee, you might have goals that you have to reach that are a little steeper than maybe what we have on the IMS side. We do ask that you follow the typical protocols, and most of our partners will put the information out there, what they're looking for, but you need to be very careful about putting on some business, making sure you're staying up, watching your loss ratios, watching your book of business, and maintaining those relationships, so you can continue on with it. So the other thing that we do with IMS through that sub-producer agreement is we have a setup that allows an agent to move out of our program and to a direct appointment once they've achieved a certain level of earned premium. So if you'll allow me, I'll give you a little color on that, Dave.
Well, yeah, that was my next question. So
Read your mind.
there you go.
So that's what we do here, Dave. So what happens is, in the IMS world, typically what IMS gets for facilitating the relationship is a 2% override from our carrier partners. So IMS gets a 2% override. So what you would see on our site, the agent commission on our site would be typically 10 or 2 points below street rate. Okay, 2 points below street rate. So as you grow with our program, and I'll give you an example. I've got 20 progressive IMS appointed agents that have qualified to move to a direct appointment as of right now. That means they've achieved over $250,000 in earned premium with Progressive. So they now have qualified. And what I mean by qualified is, you've got it on the earned premium side. Now, the carrier will make the decision, in this case, Progressive. Does their loss ratio look good? Does their PIF count look good? If those three pieces all fit, they can move to a direct appointment. Some agents say, I want to go. Some agents say, I want to stay. Why do you stay in our program? You stay in our program because we've got a great contingency program. So in the case of Progressive, some of these agents are making more in a contingency payout with us than they would be making as a direct appointee.
Correct.
Now, on the other side, if they move to a direct appointment, those 2 points that were coming to IMS will now go to that agent. So there could be an offset there. But I have found in the last few years that a lot of our progressive agents that are part of our program have made the decision to stay with IMS and grow with IMS. And we have taken that business with Progressive now as an example. I'm using Progressive only as an example in this case. We're closing in on $30 million in premium with Progressive. So imagine what that contingency program looks like for those agents, and we share in that contingency with those agents.
But beyond that, Dave, we have other programs that have contingencies
Absolutely.
that are built into the platform. And as a sub-producer, you're eligible to participate in that, right?
That's correct.
So not only is that direct appointment an opportunity, but if you stay in the program, you can get a contingency check on an annual basis where you would potentially not get if you were directly appointed through the program.
That's correct. We share our contingencies with our agents. And I've actually, I've got 3 contingency payout spreadsheets working right now, Dave. So that's kind of my MO around here. I'm the spreadsheet guy. And when it comes to contingencies, these are exciting times, to be able to pick up the phone, which is what I do. I'm not the big email guy to let people know what's going on. I'd rather talk to them either face-to-face or on the phone, but to explain to them, hey, got great news for you. Got a contingency check for you for $10,000. It'll be going out next week. Man, you can't imagine how excited these agents get when you say that. And let me say this too. A lot of these agents, because of the relationship they have with FAIA and IMS, I have had multiple agents that have said to me, I don't want to leave the program because I trust you guys. I know that you've got my best interest at heart. If I go direct, not that I don't trust the carrier, it's just that I know you guys are thinking about me. You're going to take care of me. I feel insulated, if you will. I used that term earlier. It's all about relationships, and not only from my relationships with these carriers, but our member advocates within FAI, folks like you and Kyle and others that have talked to these agents over the years and built a relationship. And they say, hey, we're just going to stay put. We're happy with what we're doing with you guys. We're not going anywhere. But where we differ from a lot of, let's say, aggregators, air quotes, is, hey, when you leave our program, when you leave, as an example, if one of these progressive agents moves to a direct appointment, we say thank you. Tell someone else about us. You don't owe us another penny. We don't collect on you, for any premium moving forward. We appreciate what you've done. And in most cases, they have other programs they're involved with us anyway.
Well, and I was going to make that point. It doesn't mean that they're gone completely out of the fold. All it means is for that particular program that they've graduated, right? The other programs, they're good. They stay in there until they reach those thresholds.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
What if you have an agent here based in Florida, but also is doing business in one of those other 17 IMS states? How does that work, Dave? Well,
a lot of our national carriers will allow you to cross lines. So just had this come up yesterday, as a matter of fact. Had an agent that asked me, hey, I'm a Florida-based agent. Can I write business with company A in this case, it was Georgia and Texas? Yes, you can. That particular carrier allows you to do that. There may be some, our Florida domestics, obviously they may not agree as much as those nationals, but there are many instances where you can cross state lines and write across state lines without being a member of that state association.
Yeah, that's the key point, right, Dave?
Yep.
As long as you're a member of FAI,
right,
you can access those programs.
That is correct.
Okay. So you just won't have to join all 17 of those state associations to participate in the program.
Correct.
Okay. Just a reminder again, Dave's here. We're excited to have him. So if you have questions in particular about certain things, about what FMS does, what the programs look like, if you have any ideas on future programs, just inquiring minds want to know, certainly post them in there. We'll ask Dave while he's here with us on Friday Morning Live. But the crux of this whole conversation, Dave, is just to make sure everybody understands some of the nuances with FMS, IMS, and how you can get involved, right? Because even in the AC yesterday, we're taking board nominations, we're taking nominations for other things that go on around the association. And you mentioned it. If you're interested in being a volunteer for FMS board, participating to learn more about it, reach out to Dave and have that conversation. He'll weigh in on what the time restrictions are, what the requirements are, what you be demanded to do over that 3 years, and a little fun along the way.
Yeah, that's the great thing about FAI is that, we take care of our member agents, and we really take care of our volunteer leadership. We make it, if you're going to spend the time to be away from your family and your business over a 2 or 3 day period, we're going to make it worth your while. It's just not all meetings all day and no fun. We always have some fun things that we do as a volunteer leader. And I'll tell you too, Dave, you said it. You have questions about anything as it relates to the for-profit side, call me, please call me. I'm happy to help and walk you through exactly what it is that we do. Remember, FAI member services is a benefit. It's a program that as an FAI member, you can participate in. It costs you nothing to be to take advantage of the programs and products and services that we offer. And in many cases, Dave, it pays for your commissions that you get out of this program more than pay for your membership. It's not just for the big guys. A lot of this is for the smaller agencies, right? That maybe they can't get a direct appointment with a property carrier. Many times our carrier partners will say, hey, we can't do it for you, but if you reach out to FAI, are you an FAI member? No, I'm not. Okay, well, if you join FAI, you're going to have access to our program through them. If you are a member, it's as easy as coming in and filling out that 5-tab app that I told you about, and we'll get you up and running.
Yeah. And again, just a reminder on all these programs, there are certainly thresholds, there's territories, there's expectations that are set. We routinely update those on the website. So if you're interested in a program or a market, certainly click on that and it'll give you all those parameters. Right, Dave?
That's right. That's right. And, we're pretty specific on the site too. We ask our carriers to be specific. And so as an example, if it says market availability, and we all know this, it may say the state of Florida is open except for the Tri-County area. So you'll see very specific requirements for each carrier, and it differs from carrier to carrier.
Yeah. The other option too for information, certainly, Dave, doors always open, phones always ringing, but your member advocates are another resource for this, right, Dave? I mean, we have member advocates assigned to each agency here in the association. So again, you know who your member advocate is, and if you don't, we'll certainly do a better job making sure you do. But if you know who your member advocate is and you have some questions about some programs, certainly reach out to them to ask some questions.
Yeah, the member advocates are an integral part of getting the word out to their agencies that they're working with, because this thing is ever changing. We've got not only property markets, the market is softening, right, or has softened. And so a lot of our carrier partners who may have been closed in certain areas across the state or across the state in total have reopened and are up and running. And so consequently, it's incumbent upon our member advocates to get out in front of those agents that they're assigned to and let them know what's happening. And I know our folks do a good job of that. We meet every Monday morning as a group here at FAI, our member advocates and management, and it's open to our entire staff. Our Monday morning calls are open to our entire staff, and it's to have discussions about just this. Hey, what's happening? I have an opportunity to let everybody know what's going on the FMS, IMS side, and what's coming up down the road, because we always want to be one step ahead with our agents. We want to let them know, hey, we've got a couple, balls in the hopper right here that we're excited about. Can't go into great deal, but keep your eye on our site because we've got some good things coming.
Yeah, that's the key. We talked about it in the education at the beginning of this, but this is even more key because that site is constantly being updated territories are being opened, zip codes are being expanded. So certainly check back on a pretty routine basis on that site. You'll find some information that maybe can help you grow your agency.
Yeah, and let me throw out one big thank you to kind of some of the behind the scenes folks on the IMS and FMS side. Our accounting team here at FAI is very involved in all of the commission payouts. Many of our carriers, we pay commissions on their behalf, so our accounting team has to stay ahead of that, and that is a massive, massive project. Every month this has to happen. So we've kind of got, the accounting people are the folks kind of behind the scenes, but
Right.
man, they work so very hard. Also, Christy Stacy, who just moved out of the National Alliance program and over to the IMS side, replacing our good friend Gene Blazinski, who'd been with us since, for the last 4 years. So Christy is kind of that marketing person that will take your application when you submit it, go through it, make sure you're a member in good standing, make sure you've checked the boxes you need to check, ask any questions that need to be asked, and then she fires those applications off to those partners that we work with. Those folks that are working behind the scenes are very, very important to what we do at IMS, as is our former CEO, Jeff Grady, who's our business development manager. That guy didn't want to get out of this business. I don't know that he'll ever be able to get out of this business. But he is helping me as well as our business development person on the IMS side, and is very involved in contractual language, reviewing contracts with Laura Pierce, and setting up opportunities for our member agents.
Yeah, I mean, great point. There is, just like any organization, right, Dave? There's a lot of people behind the scenes. Some of you may be familiar with Christy's name. She was our administrator for the National Alliance program for many years around the association. We've kind of transitioned a little bit with that program. So Christy, with a retirement, moved over and is now leading the charge there. So that name is probably familiar to some.
Right, and you see Julia, who goes by Jules Hadaball. She's our dedicated IMS account administrator. Another one that she's the one that really has to balance the books on the IMS side. So, Dave, it's relationships, it's what we do behind the scenes, and it's even folks like you. There's many times that you and I, being in offices right next to each other, are collaborating on these partners that we're working with and for, and these opportunities are being brought forward not only by staff members here that say, hey, you might want to talk. I talked to this guy at the water restoration company, or I talked to this premium finance person, but they're coming from our members who say, hey, we've got a program that we're involved with. Maybe I should talk to FMS. Maybe I should talk to Dave about this as a potential partner. So thanks to everyone. Thanks to everyone internally. Thanks to our member agents that have provided leads for us to go after, and securing some of these not only in our property market partners, but our FMS preferred providers as well.
Yeah, I'll read you something here before we move on to the next slide, Dave. But our friend Caitlin says, thanks for all helping me with my IMS request for auto appointments. Appreciate all your efforts. So it's just another example of a member that at this point, may not be able to get that direct appointment, but going through the FMS, IMS programs, they can.
That's exactly right. And Caitlin and I met at a pickleball event about, 6-8 months ago. And she was very inquisitive about, hey, tell me more about FAI, tell me more about FMS. And consequently, look where we are now.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
That's the way these things work.
You mentioned a minute ago on commissions, many times will offset our annual dues to be a member of the association. Another program that we're pretty proud about around here, Dave, is the utilization bonus program that started many years ago by Jeff, and it continues. So tell us a little bit about how that really works and the mindset behind that, Dave.
Sure. The utilization bonus program is a program that was created to reward agency participation in the approved FAI products and services, and FMS products and services that we provide. We track this information from September 1 through August 31st of every year, and you earn points by participating in our programs. So If you spend $1 in a program, you're going to get a point, whether it's an E&O program, a property market, First Insurance Funding, our premium finance folks. You're going to get a point for each one of those. And what that means is at the end of our fiscal year, August 31st, we take a look at the participation. We look at the number of participants, and then we also look at the dollars that we have to put out. So 5% of our net earnings is what we use as a payout for that program. What we will do is we will typically, if you've got 3 points or more, sometimes we have to go to 4, but 3 points or more typically will qualify you for a payback on the utilization bonus side. This last year, we paid 529 agencies over $481,000. That's what we paid back. It's monstrous. And it ranges from a couple $100 to over $1,000 in a utilization bonus. And this utilization bonus typically hits you about Thanksgiving time is when we're out sending these things out. And pre-COVID, we used to send our folks on the road, and we would hand deliver those checks to many of our agents. Some of our MAs, or member advocates, are still doing that to some extent, but a lot of these things are going out in the mail now. These checks are going out in the mail with an explanation of how this program works and why we're doing it. In the last 10 years, we've paid out over $3 million in bonuses, utilization bonuses to our members. It's just an incredible program. It's another advantage of being an FAI member. And again, in some cases, this will pay for your membership above and beyond all your commissions and everything else. This particular program will pay for your membership in many instances. The utilization bonus program includes just about every program we have. Some of our programs are not as easy to track as others, but we award a point for your participation in our products and services, our programs.
Just a reminder, Dave, some may be on this call going, okay, well, that's great, but how do I see where I am? How do I see throughout the year? You say it's from September 1 to August 31, right? Where am I in on some of these programs? Certainly, you can get online, look at your profile, get that stats. But more importantly, I think your MA. Your MA is a great resource to help you understand, number one, if the program qualifies and where you're going to get points. But number two, see where you are, because if you're in a situation like we are now, we're about 6 months into our fiscal year. Where are we? What can we do? How can we grow this program to qualify for that next level, that next point? So certainly the member advocates are a great resource for that. You can certainly follow that online through your online portal, but the member advocates can help you too.
Yeah, in both cases, both things you mentioned are the best way to look at that information. And swinging back to IMS, we have an IMS portal as well. On that IMS portal, every IMS appointed agent has the ability to go to our portal and look at their entire commission payout structure, broken by carrier partner that they're working with. So we provide the information to you. If you're having a problem for whatever reason getting to that information, whether it be on the IMS side or the information like you've talked about, Dave, the utilization bonus information and where you are, let us know. We'll make sure we've got you your username and password and get you back up and running.
Yeah, Alicia asked that question, where to find the profile, Dave. So we'll definitely get you that information out there to make sure we're pointing you in the right spot.
Correct.
Because we are doing some transition around here on the website and some different things. So, Alicia, great question, but we'll get everybody the answer to that. So, but yeah, that is certainly a part of the program that is very helpful, useful, and what we do, right, to give back.
Yeah.
To the members that support the association.
Yeah, Dave, it's the numbers are increasing every year. The numbers are increasing in regards to participation, and the dollars are increasing every year through our carrier partners. As we continue to bring on these partners and we continue to put more money to the bottom line, we have the ability to pay back. This is our way of just saying, hey, thank you for your participation, folks. And I can't emphasize enough, every program that we have here on the FMS side is brought to you because of your being a member of FAI. These are things that are free to you. It doesn't cost you a penny to participate. All you can do in this program is make money.
Yep. Well, Dave, yeah, we've got a few questions, but most of those we pretty much answered, so I think we're good there. And I just I know there's some competitors in the college football world that are actually on the call today, and we didn't put the camera on, but Dave Burt, as many of you know, is a very staunch Ohio State Buckeyes fan. He's wearing his hat today in the studio. So I know some of you are on the call and glad we don't have him on camera to have the hat displayed. But yeah, football, Georgia was just in the news about some of their shenanigans there in Athens, but I hadn't seen anything about Ohio State. Dave,
Yeah.
you guys okay up there?
Yeah, Dave, we run a clean program at Ohio State. I was thinking about it the other night. Well, I catch a lot of grief from folks around here when the Florida State soccer team beats Ohio State soccer team, or that's women's soccer team, or when the women's softball team beats the Ohio State, or even FSU baseball beats Ohio State. Well, what do you expect? I mean, we don't play year round in Ohio. So, I'll take this. I'll take the arrows. Bottom line is every year, who do you see? Who do you see in the playoffs? You see the Buckeyes in the playoffs. So I know Heydrich's out there. I know he's probably sending stuff in. I don't want to hear it, Chris. I don't want to hear about wrestling, Chris. I don't want to hear it.
He just posted that. How's the wrestling team doing?
And I don't see that. I don't have that screen, Dave. Yeah. So Chris sends me a note last week. Okay, we had a little bet on the side. I felt bad for him. His wrestling team's number one in the country, always number one in the country, going against my number two in the country Buckeye wrestling team. And they smashed us, but that's okay. Okay, Chris, great. Congratulations. Back to the football field.
Well, you see, we have a little fun around here on Friday Morning Live as well. But just a reminder, there's some upcoming shows over the next few weeks. We're having more guests come on, but Citizens with Carl Rockman next week will be on, bringing some updates about what's going on there. And then our friends Trace Meek at Ask Fetch will be on the 13th of March. And then another carrier partner, Dave, that's been around for a while, has been a good partner of the association and certainly the members we serve, Monarch National. And they have some things that they want to talk about, announcements to the membership. So, and then we got some other dates, but those are the ones that are just on the screen here today. But you can go on the FAIA tab, education tab, and look at the roster of guests that are coming up. And then lastly, Dave, thank you for attending. Thank you for being here as our guests. Thanks for those that are online. We do record these sessions, so if somebody on your team or you want to go back and listen to some of the things that Dave brought and kind of follow up with him, certainly do that. We'll post them on the education tab under Friday Morning Live. They'll normally are posted the first of next week, so you can go back and do those. But thanks, Dave. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing some insights of what FMS is, what IMS is, what you guys are doing, how to get involved. I think that's even more important point that we really want to raise here today is that volunteer governance, that leadership of the association. We showed what that board looks like and have the opportunity to serve.
Right. Yeah. Again, for those interested, reach out to me. I'll answer any questions as it relates to the products and services that we have, the volunteer leadership operations, how all that works. But as Dave mentioned, thank you, our members, and thank you, the folks that are on the call this morning. Spread the word. Let them know what we've got and what we do. Have them come sit at an FAI or FMS board meeting. Learn a little bit more about what we do. Our board meetings are open to our membership. Come on and sit in, ask questions. That's the best way to get involved. So I'm here at any point in time to help in any way I can. And again, thank you to all of our FAI member agents for all you do for this organization.
Well, again, thanks, Dave. Thanks for being the guest. And just so you know, you do not have to be an Ohio State fan to serve on Dave's board.
But it helps.
But, okay. So I guess you get through the first phase of participation. But no, seriously, folks, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to Friday Morning Live. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week with Carl Rockman. Take care.